Hey, Rick McBride here with your Property Masters in 5 Minutes of Free Time, Friday edition. The word on the street, I don't know if you heard the jobs report today, but the word on the street is, with the job report released by the United States Labor Department, is that the results were disappointing. Not catastrophic, as all the talking heads will likely spin it, but not as good as expected either. Here's the numbers according to the New York Times. There were 98,000 jobs were added last month. Sounds good, but economists were predicting a gain of 180,000 jobs. So it was about half as many created as they were expecting. On the bright side, unemployment fell to 4.5% from 4.7%. That's relatively insignificant. And the average hourly wage grew by 0.2%. So hiring was supposed to drop, but this was the weakest showing in a year that they've had. They weren't expecting hiring not to drop, but not this much. On the bright side, especially for real estate, construction hiring was up. This is to be expected now and into the near future as inventories remain low. Demand for new housing remains high. People we talk to say they can't find enough people to work for them to build the housing that we need. So people continue to move. But even at that current rate, supplies are not going to keep up with demand. Real estate inventory, we've talked about it. We're beating this to death, but it's the way it is. Real estate inventories are super low. If you've listened to us for 30 seconds in the last few months, you've heard us discuss the lack of inventory in the market. Both the resale and the new housing market supplies are at all-time lows. People continue to move here faster than we can build housing. There's no end in sight for the inventory glut for the foreseeable future. So what does this mean to real estate and interest rates? Well, will interest rates stay low? That is the million-dollar question, isn't it? We're not economists, but those who follow have been screaming from the rooftops. Interest rates will continue to rise to cool off the red-hot economy. But this report may signal the economy is not growing as fast as we think. Today, the T-bill, which is the benchmark investors use to consider the basis for zero risk. So basically, if you don't want any risk, you buy T-bills, and then you'll invest above that based on the risk, is down today. It's been trending down slightly the last 30 days or so, which have caused interest rates to drop slightly, even though the Fed has raised their interest rates. In general, typically, you will find the T-bill rate as of the instant I'm talking to you right now is 2.31%. And while the Fed gets all the publicity for raising and lowering interest rates, the T-bill is a much better indicator for where the mortgage rate is going to be. It'll typically be 2% higher than the T-bill, a little lower for people with good credit, a little higher for those that are slightly higher risk in FHA loans who are taking out more than 80% loan. But the trend says they will stay lower, meaning they're expecting the economy to cool somewhat. That doesn't mean the Fed won't continue to raise rates, but it's likely that they won't do it as quickly. So what does this mean for housing? Housing is the economy, and the economy is housing. According to the Florida Realtors Association, real estate makes up 33% of the direct economy and over 50% when you calculate the ancillaries such as construction workers, supplies, appraisers, inspectors, and everyone else who makes their living partially or entirely from the real estate market. So if the Fed continues to raise interest rates at the same time the economy is cooling a bit, we may see demand decrease slightly, but ever so slightly. Because no matter what people say, the major factor in determining housing is supply and demand. I like to say, keep it simple, stupid. People here have to live somewhere. There's not enough supply to meet their demand. This means prices are likely to continue up and demand should remain strong. If the Fed steps back from their steady rate increases, this will make homes even more affordable and push demand even more. Either way, demand will likely stay high, inventories will likely remain low, and prices will continue up because people can afford it. They're paying $2,000 for rent right now. They can afford a $1,600 mortgage. Never been a better time to sell your property or business. Never. Call or text us now at 386-866-1007 and let us get you top dollar today. Have a great weekend.